like the grandfathers of the 50s and 60s or even before then, or the fathers from the 70s. They're not like that. For most women, these guys are not even men.
And it's like,
A lot of men start wearing skirts. Big mistake, bro. A lot of their fashion, dude. Bro, they setting us back, man. Come on. All right, let's see.
As time goes on, typically people become.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone.
As time goes on, typically people become better at certain things. For an example, we can argue that basketball players are more athletic, more skilled, and stronger than they were in the 80s or 90s. We could say the same thing for technology, but some people don't believe that that's the case for everything. In the case of hip hop, for an example, people will say the rappers of today are not as good as the rappers of yesterday. If you look at Clips's God Sort 'Em Out's album, we can understand that their album was better than almost anybody else younger than them. The same could be said about men, in particular, black men. The black men of today are nothing like the black men of yesteryear. They are not strong, hardworking, and masculine like the grandfathers of the 50s and 60s or even before then, or the fathers from the 70s. They're not like that. For most women, these guys are not even men.
and it's like every other day we see black men constantly on this app or social media complaining about how life isn't fair, how they got to rebuild themselves, they need help, they need the woman's help. It's like they are literally the only men that get on here and tell the world that they're broken and they need to be built up by women, and they don't find that emasculating.
This particular sister is complaining that black men of today have so many issues and they need women's help, and in the complaining and all of the crying from these men, they don't see that it's emasculating them. So in other words, the black men of today are behaving like women, but other people have noticed this as well.
I did a little report, a video a couple of years ago about how teacher put a little boy in a dress without the parents permission.
Out of control.
You know, it's being pushed now. You know what I mean?
Brother Ben X says he noticed that even in certain schools that they are teaching young black men to put on dresses. But he also adds this.
I believe it definitely is an agenda, because again, when you look back at COINTELPRO, what did they want to stop? They want to stop militant black men. They want to stop militant groups to be, standing up for our people. So
black men are no longer allowed to be masculine like in the days before. That's the important part, because COINTELPRO wanted to break down black men so that they would not be a threat to the system. And not being a threat to the system is organizing, taking care of your kids, taking care of your family, and basically fighting against the racism and systemic oppression that black men have faced in the country for years. But when it comes to men in general, we're hearing these arguments all the time about what's going on.
What is soft on a man? What's supposed to be soft on a man? His breast? His thighs? What kind of soft boy era are they living in? They really are trying to, I know it's like funny and it's supposed to be like a joke, but literally, if men don't even want to be masculine anymore, then the woman will literally just start, quote unquote, creating the things on her own without him. And then when he approaches and can't get anything or any type of response from a woman and wonders why, it's because he's not giving any masculine energy.
Now, this is Shira7. She's saying that a lot of these men don't want to take care of women, and the reason why women don't want them is because they lack masculine energy. This is important. But wait, there's more.
And any man who talks down upon women because they don't have anything to give her or want to give them is living literally in their feminine. They've been raised by women, and then they want to blame the women for raising them instead of dropping them off at the orphanage or at the fire station. You could have been left in a toilet, a dumpster, an orphanage, or a fire station. So you better be glad somebody stuck around to raise you.
Now she's saying that the guys who are lacking masculine energy were raised by their mothers, but they're blaming these women who raised them. But while you're complaining about these women who raised them, they could have dropped you off and made you homeless, because you can't blame the women who raised you and didn't help you pick a father, because they could have left you for dead. Now, this argument contradicts itself. On one hand, you blame
It is so crazy. Like, what?
like men raised by women who can't tap into their masculine nature. And then when those same men blame their moms for not selecting a father, you say, oh, well, you shouldn't be blaming the woman because she's the one that actually saved you. Now, again, damned if you do and damned if you don't. And that brings us to this topic. A few young men out of Atlanta have went viral for this.
Black tee, iCash skirt,
Bro, I can't
Black cat threes. Alright, we go with iCash polo, iCash
bro,
skirt on
too much
the
like
bottoms,
that.
and we go A.R.D. drawers.
Now, these guys are wearing skirts, and we can say that's a fashion statement. I mean, the Irish guys have done it before. We've had wrestlers in the past like Roddy Piper that's done it. Okay, yes, kilts or skirts, and men in Scotland and Europe have done it. But this is a little bit different because Black American men are not known for doing this. Now, we have seen entertainers, Russell Westbrook and certain other guys be involved in like Paris Fashion Week and do this. But when you look at it from a masculine standpoint, it can be looked at in two ways. Number one, this is a trend for guys to be different. Number two, here is the feminization and the emasculation of Black men. And these are the Black men that these women are complaining about. And they don't like it. A lot of the women don't like it, okay? Now, the guys, they kind of think that it's a joke and, you know, whatever. But a lot of the women will point to this and say, oh, here we go in Atlanta. These guys are gay. I told you, Black men.
Y'all not helping Atlanta gang. Oh,
we're gay.
Boy.
All of these things are situations that you will hear when it comes to these young Black men who are trying out these new fashion trends or possibly experimenting with their sexuality. And again, I say, who raised these men? In order for you to get the kind of men that you want, I'm going to keep saying this, you have to invest in those kind of men. All right. It's the same thing for any business, any powerhouse program in sports. I mean, if you look at Nebraska in the 80s and 90s under Tom Osborne, you know, he stayed there for like almost 27 years and he had to build that program up into a national powerhouse. Now, same thing with any other team, you know, any other business. You have to develop what you want to see to get a product. And it's not easy developing what you want to see. To develop Black men or any kind of man that has responsibilities, that want to take care of his women, that want to look masculine and act masculine, you have to invest in wanting to be with the father. And the father has to invest in wanting to be with the mother. But when you have a man and a woman who don't feel like they ought to get married and take care of their kids, or basically do it all by themselves and co-parent, well, then you might get some more of this. This is not to say that all, you know, Black men that have two parents won't address like this. But if you don't have Black men understanding the masculine roles in societies, then you're going to have this. And then the scapegoat that happens is Black women are going to point this out and call these guys out for this. This is what I'm talking about. These dudes just want each other. These dudes just have each other. Then you ask that same lady, are you a single mom? Is she going to be like,
my girls be saying that, bro. Like, oh, I'll be on you.
yeah, the same woman complaining about a lack of Black men that are strong out there is basically a single mom or doesn't have a man herself. And this is the issue. You have to want your son or your daughter to have both parents in the house, okay? If you want this to stop, then you can't just be out there getting your cheeks clapped or booty clapping it up without condoms just because you want to have fun for the night or get pregnant. You have to understand that it takes a lot of work, a lot of folks in the community that can have a good effect on your son. All right. Now, when I came up in the 80s and 90s, in the black community, it seems so long ago. But one thing I can say is we had a lot of black men in our community that teach you how to cut the grass and how to do stuff like that. I can remember my granddaddy right now. Boy, keep that wheel by that edge, boy. You missed the spot. Stop. Put that wheel by that edge. Keep that wheel by that edge. Rest in peace, Grandpa. He lived till he's 101 years old. But he used to teach me, boy, keep that wheel by that edge. He would get me up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, show me how to do things. Now, I wasn't really an outdoorman kind of person or fixing cars and stuff, but he tried to show me what he could because he knew one day I would have to go head on and have my own family. And he tried to give me as much as he could. The same with my dad. But you don't see that right now in the black community. A lot of black men, if you grew up in my time and you went to church, if you had brotherhood service on Mondays or whatever, you had men you can reach out to. You had men that could help you get summer jobs. You had men that could help you do something in the community. Those things are not there anymore. You know, in the 70s and 80s, when you had a lot of single mothers in the black communities, you know, you had a lot of black men that had boxing gyms and you know, a lot of the coaches was there, basketball, things that a man could step up and just, you know, be like that, right? And kind of help your son. Those things are not really there as much as it used to be, right? We don't operate in the same way. So if black women are going to complain about men like this, then are you doing your job by having a man that can actually teach your son and your daughter how to be the right kind of person? Do you have that infrastructure in place? Because if you don't, then I just don't understand what the complaints are. If you're not out there trying to solve the problem of why you think these young black men are wearing skirts or why you think these young black men are effeminized, I just don't get why you're complaining, because you are definitely not helping. This is something that needs to be talked about more often. Like, I get it. You don't want these guys out here wearing the same stuff as you. I get it. You don't like these guys out here competing for your makeup. Okay, great. We understand. What are you doing about it? Nothing. Like, seriously, not a whole lot.
Listen, yeah, we get it, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chad. I don't like seeing the whole.
Sipping quickly, forgot it was mud. I don't cross, so I couple with drugs. Think I don't know what my tongue gonna.